Here for you and me, a wonderful life. Look around and see the beauty of the sky. Here for you and me, a wonderful life. No need to run and hide. It's so wonderful, wonderful life. No need to laugh and cry. It's a wonderful, wonderful life. Here I go, out to sea again. The sunshine fills my hair. Dreams hang in the air. Gold in the sky and in my blue eye. You know it feels unfair. There's magic everywhere. No need to hide and cry. It's so wonderful, wonderful life. No need to laugh and cry. It's a wonderful, wonderful.
Right, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. How's everyone doing? Are we all winning? What is of the going-ons? Is everybody winning? Are we enjoying this dull stage of the market? I am. I'm back after pretty much 6 weeks of not really doing too much, to be honest. I've had a lot to catch up on in terms of like admin-y stuff today, but in general, I'm actually really looking forward to the market, and I think there's a lot of opportunity in it. We will come on to all of that. I've also been playing around a lot more with the old telemetry, and I'm going to start actually loading some size into this because I've been using the whale moves quite a bit actually. I'm finding some success. Now I aped this like USDC thing the other day. That was a nice little runner in terms of just the initial move. I didn't sell the top, far from it. I bought down here somewhere, sold up here. Not the greatest, but I'm still warming up a little bit after a break. But I am finding this to be pretty damn good in terms of some of the moves that it identifies in whale moves. And I've asked the team for an auto exec strategy on it, so I can just ape when something comes above a certain score, and I will gladly throw my money into it and see what happens, because you know some of these are absolute rippers. Especially when it's got, you know, a decent score. Speak, I'm in big trouble. Yeah, how's the score calculated? That's quite funny. That's the first time I've noticed that. But yeah, shout out to the guys at Telemetry. If you haven't tried it out, please do. The link is below. And if you are trading on Solana, then jump on in. I did see that there was quite a depressing picture earlier. So whilst everyone's kind of like... let's see if I can open this. Let's see if I can open this. Still like that. So that's your daily traders per chain, and literally Solana's just dropped off a cliff. I'm pretty sure that's like a little bug, but it obviously shows you the run up. And the thing with like cycles is that they repeat, right? So, well, that's handy. My point being that we have this massive run up, we have this huge blow off top up here where everyone's getting involved, and obviously it fucking dies off afterwards. What I'm hoping for and what I realistically think will happen is a little bit of consolidation as we kind of veer off from like trenches, and then as soon as one or two bangers start running, we'll get that cycle running again in terms of on chain, right? And like trading on something like Telemetry and being ready for it is just like a no-brainer. So this is when I want to focus on it. Obviously, it would have been ideal if I'd have been focused on it here. I like to do alright with some on-chain stuff, but not huge amounts, I suppose. But yeah, that's my kind of soft chill in terms of where we are in terms of market cycle stage of this. I do think it comes back at some point and we see a lot more quality projects like on Solana as opposed to just random pump fund dog shit. But I think the two of them will just carry on kind of going on forever. Which is why, you look at pump fun, you look at pump and you go, well, actually, this has had a really nice little rotation and it's one of the strongest coins over the last few days. It's kind of undeniable the success of it. It's not exactly how I would like to have seen the market go, but either way, it's what happened. So you have a theory, execute on theory. If the market tells you you're wrong, and that's it. Good evening, amigo. Can I have a quick look at Please? Yeah, maybe. What's your position in Wolfie, bro? I don't have a position in Wolfie. World Liberty Finance. I literally longed it down here. So I caught a decent move on Monday morning. And that was like my last day of not being like particularly here. So we had this huge sell-off. Yeah, 7:30 in the morning. Had this huge sell-off here, right? And we had this like almost instant buyback, classic like sweep of the lows. Took this, bounced on relative strength. Like all of this was like a relative strength move, right? Which is why I was interested in it. And then it bounced and reclaimed, and I was like long down here somewhere, and essentially played the long up to here. I took a bit of size off up here, and then I put a trailing stop on it because I thought before I'd left that we would actually get price action like this. So run up and then run it again. We didn't. My trailing stop caught the rest of it, and I got luckily saved, which was really nice. Instead of having like a fixed stop down here or something like that, it was quite nice. And now obviously it's just fucking slow decline down to 0. So yeah, I'm not saying that it's just going to go straight to 0, right? These coins usually have a nice way of fucking like all the shorters, don't they? So here's support. Is now a good time to buy? Well, unironically, it's a higher low. So it's probably the first time after a huge sell-off that you would look to actually jump on maybe and go, if there's any form of like life or relative strength, play it for a run up to this high, like this former high up here, and presumably form a support across here. Something like that. But I don't have a bag of it. I'm not in this trade, so I was not gifted $100 million of this coin like some people were, or whatever it is. So yeah, that's my honest take. Is structurally it's probably all right in terms of a higher low. Market's not doing too shabby at the moment. I probably need to put WLFI on here, and yeah, if there is any strength, it's probably worth playing just for the fact that it'll probably be in play for a little while because it'll be like a hated rally. Good evening, Ghost Charts. Good morning, Nini. Hello, Marianne. Nice to see you as usual. Thanks. Good evening. Zero IQ Redact. Good morning. I just can't decide if that's my alt or not. Zero IQ Redact. It sounds like something I would be. Anyway, what are we all feeling like on Bitcoin? What's our like thought process? What's our take? Bullish, bearish, somewhere in between. Don't care anymore. Just get us out of this chop. How's everyone's Bitcoin views? Bullish. We're thinking about ETH. Been short last few days, but I don't know if I'm just schizo. We'll come on to ETH. Looks like it's going nowhere for a while. Yeah, I'm never one to really guess about time frame of moves. Like, I'm not particularly great at it, so I'm not like going to be able to say, I think it gets up here somewhere. I don't know if that's like here, or here. Do you know what I mean? I've got no idea. I literally couldn't tell you. But structurally, I still think we're trending up. It's quite nice. This is just a pullback into form of consolidation. If I was really aggressively defending my portfolio, I would have sold pretty much everything in here as we came in and closed in here and just waited for a reclaim. Or I could have actually done a proper trade and like hedged it up here. but I don't have too much exposure at the moment. Like you can see my bags there, like Trump and WLFI were trades that I took on Monday. They are not like active spot positions. Bert and anyone on the other hand are both active spot positions, neither of which are looking particularly great at this moment in time. You know, on-chain is generally taking a battering for Bert if it holds above 0.006 or 0.06 I should say. That's good to me. And anyone is, well, it's just getting a bit of a battering at the moment, so we just hope that it stays well above this area here, front runs it and just comes back. Like I've always said, the best place to long it and buy it is there, for me, because it's such a pivotal place with invalidation kind of underneath it, right? Because then that suggests new rally, new go. For Bitcoin then, you know, I think I may have spoiled my kind of opinion by flicking onto this chart first. We've had this like descending channel for a while now. We tend to have these kind of down trending channels for a little while, and then as soon as we get some momentum and get some strength, we hopefully start moving again. The big thing that's making me a little bit nervous about that is actually the old snupper. And the reason for that is if you start looking at like momentum on the S&P, it is just pretty horrific in whatever guise you kind of look at it, right? RSI just absolutely kind of dying off. I think, which one was it? Yeah, there's a bit of a 3-day div going across the highs, which obviously was before the sell-off. I was trying to think there was a really nice... Maybe it was just that that daily awesome oscillator that you know, you've just got this complete kind of decline in momentum, and combined with like, and I'm not going to try and LARP and pretend I understand all the bond yield stuff, but bond yields across the world are like highest they've been for like 10-20 years in different countries, particularly in the UK where it's all just fucked. So it's all a bit depressing at the moment in terms of like high time frame macro stuff, but from what smarter people than me tell me is that they're kind of going to be forced to print money, and they're going to be forced to kind of inflate asset prices, and they're in this kind of spiral now of a combination of asset inflation and debt, like increasing debt to the point where they can't pay their interest, which is like this kind of circular spiral down to doom. But that's all the doomers say. I don't really care. I'm just going to trade my shitcoins. I'm going to draw some lines on charts, and I'm going to see what the fuck happens. You know, I'm not going to pretend to LARP about macro stuff. Like, I'm being very, very clear about it. I'm just kind of conscious that this huge decline in momentum is not great, and it has been pretty much up only, right, since Trump said buy the stock market, which is a fantastic trade, let's be honest. So for me, the next like leg of Bitcoin, like this is pretty much the breakout that I wanted to see. Both of like this area here, like let's actually draw it with some straight lines instead of just hand drawing it, because my aim is clearly dog shit. Like I wanted to see this breakout of both this meme diagonal and this range high here, which, yeah, maybe it's not looking particularly great at this moment in time, but it's the attempt. If we get this and we hold above, I think that this just carries on. I think this like 110 area, you know, not this line perfectly, is that high time frame kind of resistance in terms of, are we going to just fuck around in this value area for a while, or are we actually going to trend for a bit? Is this just a sell-off? You know, Bitcoin OGs waking up, blah, blah, blah. Or is this just, I'll fucking sell every bounce, and we are, you know, in that bear market territory. Not necessarily bear market territory, but we are in just a strong downtrend for the time being. And actually, you know, any spot bags need to be hedged, in which case now is a good time, IMO, to do it. Because you've got that real simple invalidation, you know, real simple of just like, that's the high. Is that enough of a short squeeze to really put people under pressure? Don't think so. Is there any like major divs or anything? Not particularly, but in terms of, you know, high time frame levels, it's pretty clear that 110 point something, i.e. this kind of area up here, is pretty pivotal to good old BTC. So I'm hopeful, more because if we reclaim this then we're going to have a decent run on alts, right? And alts will start getting some relative strength again. We can play some stuff off this. We can also look at a huge amount of coins. Farcoin being one of them, as you've already talked about, Carlos, I think. Is Farcoin, would you get back in? How does it look? So this is what a lot of coins look like to me. Utter dog shit, because they are just very, very strongly downtrending. But being objective and looking at what the chart is actually telling me, like, I think this looks like a piece of shit. Yeah. Unironic for Farcoin. I know, I get it, right? But you start looking at like this and you go, okay, well, there is a bit of a level across here. I get it. Okay, you could argue this is a high time frame pivot. I'd say there's definitely one there and one down there, right? So you've got kind of two levels to play off. This is a bit wider than I'd normally like, but whatever. You've actually got a momentum div kind of across this low in terms of momentum and price, right? So price is consistently going down. Momentum is getting, stronger to the upside in theory. Well, it's not stronger to the upside, it's stronger to the upside of the awesome oscillator, but the downside is just getting weaker in terms of each move, right? First move big, second move not as big, third move not as big, fourth move not as big, and so on and so forth, right? And what this usually resolves in is either just a proper capitulation sell-off, or more likely, I think in this scenario, just a nice little fucking short squeeze, rip some assholes, and then chop everyone up. And then you get a bit of a consolidation across here, and then maybe you get the next leg in line with kind of Bitcoin thesis and all of that, right? And I also think what's important for Farcoin, specifically, is Sol as a general kind of... I'm going to judge kind of all Sol memes, like Bert and everything, as to if Sol starts running again, Pump starts running again, and so on and so forth, that there will be like a narrative shift back into the Sol ecosystem. The only time I don't ape shitcoin at my go live time, it's literally 2 and a bit X, rip. Damn, I just saw it up there and I was like, why didn't I just ape a fucking Sol into it or something? But anyway, the point being that if Solana starts running, then I think Farcoin starts running as well, and I think we actually get a lot of momentum back into Solana generally. So I'm bullish on Solana. I still have a Solana spot position. I still have this one that's in front of me, actually. I probably should have mentioned that earlier, but I still have this. Still in this. It's still, it's up. It's going pretty well. I actually think that, like, if we're really being objective, that, again, this is probably the area that you want to short if we start showing weakness in the market in general, because of the high time frame levels that Solana is playing around. But we're in a pretty janky market. There's no obvious short signals in terms of, like, momentum or anything like that. So it's really a little bit, it's quite a high risk trade from that perspective, from the perspective of there's no momentum divergences, but there are some decent levels to kind of trade around if you want a hedge to the downside. I think Solana kind of offers that. Obviously I'm long at the moment, but if we start failing and breaking back in, that's the kind of trigger there, yeah. So ignore all my other shit on there, but if that starts running, then Farcoin becomes a really easy trade as well. We are currently, let's just go back to the 4 hour. We're currently in this kind of massive descending kind of channel down here. We can literally draw some meme diagonals, right? And just start thinking, like, what's a big show of strength on Farcoin, and how am I going to get essentially like a change in market structure and a bit of bullish momentum on this. If I saw Farcoin here, which I think is one of the purple ones typically, because I kind of code it a little bit in line with Solana. Yeah, there it is, Farcoin. It's down here at the moment. It's pretty trash in terms of relative strength. Like, I should be longing these kind of things like Syrup, Desync, all that kind of stuff now. Desync's a bit of a nightmare to trade. It's kind of a buy spot bag and hold it. Syrup, I don't really know, but I've seen it a couple of times today. WLFI, as we talked about, I actually think looks okay in terms of structure. So there is a little bit of confluence there in terms of this thought process that we could run it back to the range highs, yeah? It'd be kind of a hated rally, quote unquote. But yeah, back on Farcoin, I think breaking of diagonal trends with any form of relative strength, and if Sol BTC and Sol ETH continue to look, reasonable. So this is what we doodled last time, you know, strong run up after a consolidation, run it back turbo. Hopefully this isn't a lower high now, and actually Solana continues. If we get all of that confluence, I think it'll be quite easy for Farcoin to just run up and do something a little bit. Oh, that's a short. Lamau. And to do something like this, you know, stop under here. Just, you don't want it to come back into this trend essentially and just run some highs. You know, target 1, bosh. Target 2, bosh. And then a little bit more if you're greedy. So is it worth getting back in on? Probably. I don't think it's necessarily done. I think there's a lot of people with a lot of bags they want to unload. I think if Solana comes back, it'll be a good meme, good rally, but who knows. When would you be interested in getting high time frame cycle swing longs? I think if there was like a mass extinction event, as in like the chart nuked like 40%, then I'd probably just want to buy some just out of I'll buy the fear. Which, you know, is usually at like a 10% reduced size, as in it's 10% of my usual position size. It's not like bet the house, etc., or do anything like that. But right now, I'm not in the accumulation phase of the market, right? Like, for me, like, yeah, there's still money to be made, I think. I do think the cycle's got some legs left in it. I do think we're just experiencing like a much slower cycle in terms of, let's just leave that, in terms of what we've had previously, right? That's because there's much larger players in here. There's much more volume. There's much more like, if you think about, you know, one Bitcoin, you need $120,000 to buy up here, versus down here, you need sort of 16,000 to push one around, and that's your inventory really. Like there can be loads of different, you know, ways to gamble on BTC, and you can have, you know, obviously not settled in spot BTC like perps, etc. But like fundamentally, if I want to move, or if I want to sell 100 Bitcoins here versus 100 Bitcoins here, like the actual spot to value of the asset is so much bigger that it requires a lot more money to either prop it up or to pump it, right? So I think it's like natural that we get that slower cycle, and we are still, as far as I'm concerned, in an uptrend, and I do think that this cycle ends with some form of kind of blow off top, purely because I think the numbers that we're getting to are pretty ridiculous. And I think that we eventually get to that euphoria phase of, you know, our meme parabola, and we go, yep, this is it. This is this thing cures cancer. And then lo and behold, 3 weeks later, it's down like 40-50%. And you know, I should post this on Twitter. Really, is like bullhopium. But you know what I mean? Like it's this kind of thing that I just think, well, either it topped like way back here, and again, these are a nightmare to fucking piss around with and fit your bias. That's kind of what we're doing, right? Like, that's it. You know, a bit of deviation from the golden bull run, but I don't think it's done necessarily. Like from a high time frame position, but equally, I don't. You know, I deployed like back here. I bought some more spot back here. I sold a lot of spot up here when we hit 100k originally, because I held it from back here. So, you know, I've held some Bitcoin for like 7 years, which I sold up there. Yeah. You know, am I bothered that it's 110,000 now and it could have been 124? No, because my average purchase price was like, I think it was about $6,500 or something, because I was buying like down here. I was buying down here, I bought some here, I bought some more here, kind of averaged it up. But yeah, it's, you know, do you want to be accumulating at this stage of the cycle? Like, no, I don't think you do, personally. I don't think this is where you go spot long Bitcoin. I'm gonna stick it in a hardware wallet for 20 years and come back to it. I think you'll get better entries probably at some point in time. You know, I don't think it's just gonna go like up only forever. I think even if you use something like this, like the simple macro trend scanner type thing, where we go, okay, like here's a bullish cross. Great. It's literally intact for ages, and then it loses it here. But you could just literally play that cycle from there to there. Well, not there necessarily, but as soon as it starts like breaking high time frame weekly structure, so you sell it in here, like that would be where you sell it, right? Similarly, like here, you'd probably sell it there, so that'd be a small dub. You wouldn't play any of this. You'd buy this. You'd catch pretty much the whole thing. You'd either sell it like here, or if you've held it through that, which is unlikely, or you rebuy it here, you know, you're looking at starting to sell it soon, just because you don't want it to kind of cross your EMAs and or cross bearish or both. So, you know, is now the time to be accumulating. I think there's more room for growth, but yeah, I wouldn't say I'm in accumulation of Bitcoin mode, right? Did you hear all of that? Because I just noticed that my mic wasn't working for a split second. So yeah, hopefully that answers your question. I do think that this is just much slower, and I think that a lot of people are sidelined on Bitcoin, so fuck them. Run it to the highs. Ah, good, you heard it. Cool. What do you think about ETH? Well, let's talk about ETH. I've been like of the same opinion for a little while on ETH that like, you know, last 2 weeks that this is like structurally a downtrend. There's no reason like that I want to get long on it, because what you tend to have is former all-time high, break of all-time high, fuck around for a long time because everyone gets super horny, right? This was an incredible trade if you caught it from like 1500 to this. Like, absolutely incredible. Like, people think like, oh, crypto is dead, but this is like a liquid fucking 3x. You know, just straight off the bat, like in a few days, absolutely incredible. You could put 10-20 million in this, not touch the side of the order books, and fucking ran it up, and then had the same like hardly any slippage when you exited this. Like, people, I don't know, take for granted how incredible this market is. But anyway, I'm not really interested in it until we just break like local downtrends, right? And it's looking more and more promising by the day in terms of like, you look at this and you go like, you would want it really to like either break down and reclaim, and that's a really nice setup in terms of like you've shown the relative strength. So if I just like delete all this, yeah, make it a little bit cleaner. You know, what I'm talking about is like, this is like kind of range lows. I've drawn it a little bit to fit my bias, but yeah, you know what I mean. Something like that. Get that. Take all the liquidity down here. Run all the stops. Reclaim. There's your invalidation. Bosh, run it back up. Particularly with the fact that you've got, you know, this kind of consistent series of lower highs. That to me shows that sellers are in control. You know, RSI barely breaks above, and then it just gets battered down, etc., etc. Like that, I just think it chops for a while. And you've also got relative weakness in terms of like ETH BTC, not looking particularly great. Sol ETH has obviously flipped the other way around. So Sol is the stronger asset because it's Sol ETH. So, you know, as long as that trend continues as well, I think that it's best to be in Solana, which is why I am positioned in Solana, right? Oh, they're all good. Good. My work's good. Excellent. Are you net short on any position? Just curious. I'm sure ETH, but feel so suspect. I mean, I would say that, like, looking at this, like, if you put a gun to my head and said, Charlie, what do you think it's going to do? I'd say it's definitely going to pull this move first. It looks like it wants to break down, right? It looks absolutely horrendous in terms of, like, simple structure. If you inverted, and the way to always check your bias on that kind of thing is just invert the chart. And if you inverted this chart, I'd actually be quite excited, because we've had this, you know, this sort of support area across it, or sorry, resistance area across here. I was thinking of inverse. You know, you've got these consistent higher lows. Well, sorry, I'm fasting today, so I'm also a little bit. You know, you've got this consistent structure, and you've got this consistent point where kind of sellers, quote unquote, in this case, step in. So, you know, would I play a breakout long in this scenario? Yeah, I would. And that's when you go, well, actually, like, if that's the scenario that I play, should I be playing a breakout short on ETH? I'm tempted. I'm tempted to hedge some of my position, right, and just do something a bit wide and a bit wild like that, and just go like, gosh. Similarly, but like Sol, you know, because Sol has that kind of level across here at the 202 level, where I'm like, this is a big high time frame level, and if we, oh, there's too much shit on this chart, crap. Big high time frame level across here, you know, if we flip it, I could be tempted to flip short, but I would rather short the weaker asset, which at this point in time is ETH. Yeah, even just looking at the low time frame PA on ETH, but like, I don't normally like shorting range lows because it's much easier to play breakouts to the long side than it is to play breakdowns to the short side. I like popped up a bit crazy. Well, on hyper liquids, I feel like can touch around 41x first. Yeah. I mean, this is the thing. It's like, I think, you know, it'll come down. It'll basically hit all of this area, trigger a load of stops, and then probably reclaim. And I think on that reclaim is where, you know, if you haven't got any ETH, you can just buy some with an invalidation under. Get 185 Sol, I would punt a max long, honestly. Yeah, I think Sol is probably the play. Yeah, that is unironically almost where I'm long from. I'm long from 182-ish, 183. I think is my actual average, but whatever. Who's counting the pennies? Normally prefer to play breakout to the long side. It's easier. Short range lows are stressful. Yeah, because you'll just get offside quite quickly, right? And it's just like, you know, usually there's a little fuckery move, and then if that gets battered down, that's the one you actually short. But you know, maybe you could argue that we've had that already with like this, and that actually that's, you know, declining market structure, etc. But there's just nothing really to kind of, apart from the pure PA. You know, this is why I like spaghetti, because it just tells you something that you kind of don't know just from looking at the individual chart. Like this is, you know, syrup is running. What the fuck is syrup? Like, why is that running? Like, that puts that on my radar and it makes it a little bit more interesting than, you know, something like Maker. Now, Bert's obviously low liquidity, blah blah. I think it still runs at some point. It tends to do stuff while nothing else is doing anything. But yeah, I just think that, like, based off pure PA alone, I don't like trading, which is why people say like, oh Charlie, why don't you go and trade stocks and stuff? Like, stocks don't really have spaghetti. Like, I can't intraday trade like without this. XRP BTC and XRP USD looks interesting. Oh no. Please tell me you're an XRP moon boy and you think it's going to $100 bajillion. Go on then, brother. What's interesting about this? Old trades were obviously for pussies. No spark no bueno. Exactly. I'm basically the Italian trader, even though I couldn't be more English if I tried. Well, that's how I say that. I'm not out with a flag waving it around, telling people to get out of hotels or anything. But yeah, I should probably steer away from that conversation. I mean, it looks basically the same as ETH in terms of, like, if you assume that this is, you know, not all-time high, I don't think, is it? Or is it? Oh, it's literally all-time high, isn't it? Well, there you go. It's exactly the same as ETH then. We're in, like, repeat the conversation I had on ETH, but put the word XRP instead of ETH. You know, former all-time high, take all-time high, now we fuck around for a long time, chop everyone out, probably sell off, probably reclaim long, bosh, done, easy trade idea, right? And we'll just go for, like, next leg of the market, yeah? Because the thing that you don't want to happen is, yeah, it sells off, it comes into this value area, and then we just, like, trickle down to the value area low, and then we just, like, keep going. Yeah, like, your invalidation's quite simple on this one. You have a protracted sell-off, continuous bounces with lower highs, it sells off, big demand comes in, and that is your local bottom before trend continuation to the upside, right? And I think when we were doing these kind of trades, like, probably a year ago now, I guess, you know, that would happen probably within the day, like this kind of pattern, right? The sell-off, the big sell-off, the big reclaim. Now I think is a lot slower. So I'm going to maintain my long bias because it's where I make most of my money. I've had some cracking shorts in my time, I'm not going to lie, but you know, I much prefer playing to the long side. And if I'm wrong on these kind of theories, and you know, I should have shorted like the lows, I don't care. Like the best time to short is when you had signals up here, which there was probably something in terms of like, yeah, a little RSI div across these highs, right, at an extreme after a large move. Stop above here, start scaling in just as it's breaking down, and then, you know, ride it to wherever. Good luck with your fasting. Try not to overdo it too frequently. Make sure you stay hydrated with electrolytes, not just water. Cheers, mate. What's an electrolyte? I'm out. Does tea count as, not tea, but like peppermint tea? Yeah, I think that's the kind of next play for XRP. If we are thinking about some XRPs, I do think a lot of this older stuff, like XRP, Litecoin, all that kind of stuff, is, you know, I want to play some of these trades again. I had Litecoin, I had a decent trade on Litecoin. I wanted to play it again in terms of like this range reclaim. I didn't because I was AFK, but you know, I'm thinking sort of similarly, if we can break out, and let's just delete this because I've cloud claimed enough for that. It wasn't even an incredible trade anyway. Then the market isn't really giving huge amounts. You know, we're in all these like little diagonal downtrends, right? And it's just like everyone's losing their fucking mind. Just accept it for what it is. It's diagonal downtrend. SPX is the one that I tried it yesterday actually, and I got cucked on. But that was because it had huge relative strength, had a really good move out. And I thought, you know what? If we're gonna start bringing some liquidity back to the market, then great. But yeah, I took the full D on this one, so there was no trailing stop to save me or anything like that. It was just a loss. These things happen. But like as soon as this starts to, it either breaks down, in which case we then get a violent repricing, I think, to the upside, or it just starts breaking out and just starts fucking running. But I don't know which one's more likely. I think this is probably more likely, i.e. the sell-off, the capitulation, and then we start running things back up. Maybe it's a bit slower, and then maybe we go again like that, right? But like some of these charts look fucking great if you think, Christ, we've actually sold off. Let's have a look. SPX is one that I rode up from like way in here and sold up here. So, you know, I'm also picking this chart so I can claim about the move. It's down like 53% from the highs. Like a lot of people are like, oh my god, it's over, it's so fucked. It's like, well, Farcoin is down 59% from the highs. Like a lot of these like quote unquote in play altcoins down a lot. Now they can still go minus 99%. I'm not saying that they won't. What I'm saying is that this is where we start, or I start flipping my mindset to say, these are actually, you know, on quite a significant discount from where they were a couple of months ago. I'm not just like saying balls deep in alts or anything like that. I'm saying wait and be patient. Impatience is expensive, as Doc says, and if you're not checking out Doc already, you should. He's a GOAT trader. It's DocXBT on Twitter. So, you know, wait for structures to change. Wait for things to kind of play out a little bit. Make sure that you're not just joining and aping into a downtrend, yeah? That's honestly like, well, I keep saying it week after week, but it's what I'm doing, so I'm gonna keep saying it. ENA still looks interesting. Yeah, ENA does still look alright. Let's have a look. Pico rotation on ENA. Actually hilarious. Yeah, ENA is one coin that is looking okay in terms of, you know, this is like a high time frame 50 RSI reset. You look at it from, you know, a structure perspective, it's still good. You've got a series of series of high lows, and yeah, it doesn't look too bad. Like this local structure in terms of lower highs here into this, which is actually, you know, almost like an inverse head and shoulders meme. Like I hate that kind of stuff, but structurally you can see that there's a higher low there, and actually it coincides quite nicely with a 50 reset. It's probably going to be quite strong, if I had to guess, in terms of one of the like next legs of the market. If we can just consolidate here and do something like this. There's not really enough strength on a low time frame rotational basis for me to get too excited, right? Zig showing up on here. So Zig set out range lows. I'm actually going to punt some of this. So they've got a lot of stuff coming up. They're going to be very, very active. I'm going to punt some Zig and use this as my, this former low here as my invalidation. We do please? Oh, Trump soon an emergency tariff meeting tomorrow morning. Oh god, yeah. Yeah. Hopefully Trump is saying that everyone who owns 1% of his shitcoin is exempt from tariffs. Get nations to buy our fucking bags. Man, I fumbled nobody so bad. I had a fuck ton of it down here at like 3 million market cap. I'm out. I literally bought a fuck ton of it in there and sold it like up here somewhere. I literally ripped. Maybe all dodgy Doge. I think like for me, Doge is dead. And everyone's like, again, it just looks like similar old boomer meme coins, right? Like just lower highs, lower high, into consistent lows. Like this is the same as XRP, it's the same as ETH. If you want to short range lows, go for it. It is the third time of support essentially. But yeah, it doesn't look great. You know, something like this is when I'd want to long something like this, but Doge is just, it's just weak, man. You know, it's just weak. Can it rally? Of course it can rally. But let this tell you that I wouldn't be picking Doge over anything else, and then I'll probably have to eat my words in a few weeks' time, but who cares? I think I'll hold your short and aim for 4,200 maybe, range low. I think, you know, it's entirely up to you. This stream obviously does not constitute financial advice. If you want financial advice, go speak to your financial advisor and so on and so forth. But, yeah, if I was short from the highs on ETH, I'd be holding it, I'm not going to lie. And then I would use the kind of breaker diagonals to be like, okay, well, I'm just going to take profit on this and I'll move on to the next trade. Popcat looks fucking dead as shit. Like, similar thought process though. If you want to make a trade out of it, you can. You know, look for some change in structure, look for some range reclaims, look for like just some sort of simple I just can't see why it would be such a strong meme. Like, I think I went quiet. My mic's fucked, which is annoying. It's the second Blue Yeti I've bought in like a while. Anyway, just buy only one bottle of sachet of each flavor, maximize variety. Cheers, mate. But yeah, I just think it's dead. And I think this is the thing that people get obsessed with. It's like, you know, second cycle of stuff. And it's like, yeah, but like, it's better. You will almost always be better off, I think, in these conditions, catching things for their first cycle. Purely because I think the attention meta is so short now. You know, we were lucky with stuff like Doge that it did multiple cycles and it kind of did this, right? Marked up first cycle, marked up again second cycle, you know, and died in the bear market. marked up again in the third cycle, and it was absolutely fucking ridiculous, you know. And then it's kind of like died a bit, and then marked up a bit, and then marked up a bit, etc., etc., right? I actually think the like new meta of cycles is you'll get stuff that has a little mini cycle in it, right? Like Fred or stuff like that, Peanut, and then it'll just do this, and then it'll be fucking dead forever, and that's it. But that is one crypto cycle, and then you'll never hear about that shitcoin again. That's honestly what I think. And that's purely for memes, actually, just to be clear, which obviously are going to have the higher chance of going fucking parabolic and exponential. Stuff like Hype, stuff like Zig, stuff like, you know, BNB, all that kind of stuff. You know, they're still going to have their respective cycles, yeah? Like actual projects with legitimate doxed people, they're still going to have stuff, right? They're still going to have cycles. They're still going to have, you know, big runs, maybe small runs, but they are still going to oscillate up and down. But your best chance of making like a 10x, 20x is, I think, on, you know, degenerate memes in their first cycle. If you're just purely punting a bag and then leaving it, I don't think Popcat is ever going to go to like $10 or something like that. Maybe back here I thought that. Whilst we were in a ridiculously strong uptrend, I was trading the crap out of it. Like I was literally, I was a Popcat trader probably for all of this. But yeah. CTSI is doing some moves lately. Yeah, it is. It is crazy. I don't think maybe I've traded it once. Maybe I have traded it. But equally, you know, it just looks like weird fuckery. I've seen it on Spaghetti a few times, and it's just like, what the hell is this? Like, yeah, it's not particularly great, right? Just literally insta dump, just some team fuckery. And Brett, I think this is probably going to be another one, isn't it? Yeah, you know, huge run up. I know the chart actually was you know, well before here, and then it just one cycle, two cycle, and then lower high, and then lower high again. Like, just I can't get excited by it. Like, you know, teams have farmed these coins. Why would they go back to them? Bearer chain? I don't know. CRV. I'm not trying CRV. I'm not paid by them, so like everyone else. Like, why the fuck are people along CRV? Jesus Christ. Yeah, but looks like shit right at this moment in time. But it has this wonderful tendency to move when other markets are not. And, you know, across here, I think is my big kind of current pivotal / support. Let's draw it properly. Oh my god. Yeah, it's as simple as that, really. As long as it doesn't lose this 0.6, this is probably where I'd be buying it for a next run. Simple as that. Next bonk runner? I don't know. There's too much. There's too much. This is why I use telemetry. Like, gosh, look at that. Fucking hell. We'd have, if we aped at the start of the stream, which I should have done, we would have literally been up multiples and then straight back to break even. The brutalities of the trenches. Yeah, I mean, I'm just going to be trading off this basically. And yeah, I saw this one the other day actually. Might have bought the top. Happy days. Yeah, obviously aped post migration and then got fucking rinsed on it. But they seem to be doing something. Why'd you never take profits on the $3 trench coins? I mean, this is just, you know, fuck around money. I'm just trying to learn how to trade on chain, to be honest. Like, my on-chain trading generally consists of buying bags that I like the name of, or if they're fundamentally strong tokens, i.e. I've got a proper investment thesis on them, then that's how I'll jump into on-chain, right? It's not any more advanced than that. You love to lose. I'll run this account up. I'll put some money in that's like worth trading for me and actually run it up properly. I get a bit of relative strength though, which is nice. Pump fun, CTSI boring, WLFI which we talked about. Maybe I should have flipped over to the old buy bit and taken a bit of a wolfy long. Yeah, it doesn't look too bad. Like literally, we can break out of this here. You know, I'd probably be even more aggressive because I'm usually pretty fucking aggressive in my ridiculous stops. If we can start breaking out of here, then I'd play something like this. Keep an eye on this while I finish the stream. Equally, if anyone has signed up to Telemetry and is using my ref link and has got any feedback, please let me know. Because I do have a call with the team every week and I tell them what I like and what I don't like. And I like lots of things, but I also say what I would like, and I would like something that copies this for me and lets me auto-ape some stuff. Because, yeah, again, when it comes on whale moves, it's usually like down here when it starts like breaking out. So I would like it to auto-ape some sol for me. Run it back, turbo. Joining America? I'm not in America, brother. I am sadly in the United Kingdom. Boop. Not ideal. Yeah, so I need to keep an eye on this chart because I've got exposure to US dollars, obviously, because a lot of all crypto is like USDT denominated, so I've got USDT, USDC, etc. And if we get some like flash crash on the pound, then I'll be converting. I would love this for my bags, selfishly. Yeah, nice little cash out. Take this low. Look at me, boys. I'm a forex trader now. Let's fucking go. Yeah, I think we've run through a lot of setups and ideas and thought processes today. I think it's just a case of just waiting a little bit. You're not going to catch me being super aggressive on some of these moves, purely because I don't want to be. Oh, look at whiff. My, how far it has fallen. It is actually hilarious that this short that I posted back there fully played out. Fully played out. Absolutely fucking wild. I should have just held that for the fucking paid like thousands, maybe even more dollars in funding for this, just to be able to fucking flex it. Low-key wish I kept my short on Trump as well, but case around. Quick buy or sell window like an axiom. So you can do this. You can even put turbo on, which is instant buy, and then if you hold spacebar, you can assign them to your buttons. That's instant buy, insta sell. Obviously, I don't have any, so it's not bound. So yeah, that's pretty sick in my mind. I'm boomer as fuck though, so it doesn't, you know. I just click. I've also got decent aim from CS, so. They're like a movable window. What do you mean, like dragging this out? Oh, okay. I haven't played with Axiom, to be fair. Yeah, I'll take that bit of feedback and give it to them, obviously. I don't think there's much else. I think it's just a game of patience. I think it's just a game of like, it's a bit annoying because I want to come back and I want to be like, bang, bang, bang. Like, here's 50 decent trades, but the market gives what it gives, right? I can't be a little bitch and make it do something that it's not going to do. But yeah. USDT dominance. That is quite a wild chart request, I'm not gonna lie. It's like, this is just up only, it's just a stablecoin cycle, right? Money is coming into the casino. As long as it's going up, you know, it's a reasonably good thing, and as long as momentum is keeping the upside and running up, it's good. Coins are entering the casino. Now, you know, the bit that I always got questioned about before was like this, you know, May, it's still going up, but this is when the kind of bear market really kicked into effect. Obviously, basically the last bit of May was the final kind of blow off top, because everyone kind of flipped across to stablecoins, wanted more stablecoins, etc. And this, for me, is like, this is the extreme momentum, and then actually you see that this big dip, with this momentum across here, is just dying. This is actually accelerating, if anything. So, you know, this is where it accelerated before. It's nowhere near as extreme as this, so. What rank are you in CS? Oh, I don't know, mate. I haven't got a rank at the moment because I'm dog shit. I haven't played. I was about 24, 25k last season, I think. For this one, this is just this is tether dominance. It's a bit useless, you know, in terms of it's just one stable coin, so it's kind of how much of it is tether or how much of it is USDC. Like, all you really want is like all your stable coins, right? You don't care if it's like you know, USDT, USDC, whatever. You don't care. You just say, well, where's risk being allocated? Is it stables or is it dogshit altcoins? You know, what's the point? Alright, that's all I care about. I don't give a fuck if it's tether or something else. I mean, this looks like, you know, it kind of wants to break down similar to other stuff, but is that because people are going to USDC? Don't know. Alpha A says Ina's going 51x and Hype's going 126x. Yeah, he's full of shit though. That's the problem. Smart guy. Obviously made a fuck ton of money with BitMEX. Clearly makes a fuck ton of money from the market in general. But, like, he's just full of horse shit. The Hype is going 51x. There is fucking zero chance Hype goes 51x from here. Maybe not zero, but I'll take one that I haven't got a load of good trades on. Yeah, it's not going fucking 51x from here, is it? Yeah, well, I think what you should do is buy his bags. Yeah, it's pretty much fair. I mean, fair enough, you know. But is this going to $2,000 a coin? I don't think so. What's the market cap of like Hype? It must be fucking. Yeah, it's definitely going to 2.2 trillion, isn't it? Maybe I'm massively underestimating it, but I don't think I am. Zcash is the dominant. Yeah. I mean, you know, this is the thing, is like, don't get wedded to your bags too much. They move, they go up and down, metas change. You know, 2 years ago we were all like, fuck me, AI coins are going to be the gold dust. And they were, right? A lot of them went like 100x, and now they've all just done this and died. And everyone's like, oh, why did we even think that was a cool thing? It's like, because it's fucking new. New shiny shit will make you rich. Like, if you're early to new shiny shit, you can, you know, turn small size into big size. And genuinely, that's amazing. yeah, I think we've covered off enough setups. I appreciate you all being here. We will get back to things being a bit heated up, I think, in the next couple of weeks. I've told you all the stuff I'm looking out for: diagonal breaks, sign off, sell offs into range reclaims. They're going to be great. Yeah. Oh, my stream's very comfy. Yeah, cheers, mate. Try and keep them comfy, try and keep them a bit light. Try and have a good mix of like trade ideas, educational content, and just a bit of giggles. Yeah, I will love you and leave you all, and I will see you next week. Au revoir.